Today, I want to talk about a situation that I think most of us can relate to, especially if you're a parent with teenagers or younger children. It's about trust, it is about responsibility, and it is about tough choices we sometimes have to make when those two things collide. Imagine this: you are hanging out at your best friend's house like you always do. Everything seems normal until suddenly their parents offers you both something unexpected: alcohol. Now you're underage and you know that drinking isn't right for your age. But your friend that you've come to see goes along with it. What do you do? How do you react? You are caught in a tough spot. On one hand, you don't want to seem uncool or lose your friend's trust. But on the other hand, you know this is wrong. This is something you shouldn't be doing. You feel very uncomfortable with it. But at the same time, you don't want to make a scene or disappoint your friend. So you go along with it. Afterwards, you feel so uneasy about what happened. So you decide to tell your older sibling or someone you trust. But here is the catch: you make them promise not to tell anyone, including your parents. It's understandable. You're worried because you know if your parents found out what's transpired, it could cause a lot of trouble, not just for you, but for your friend also. But at the same time, you can't shake off the feeling that this situation is unhealthy and is unsafe. Statistics have it that 29% of high school children drink alcohol, and about 14% reported binge drinking. The CDC reports that excessive consumption of alcohol by underage children is responsible for more than 4,300 deaths among underage youth each year. It is a staggering statistics. Every alcohol used when the child is younger is also associated with an increased risk of alcohol dependency later in their lives. Now let's switch perspective. Imagine you are that sibling. Your younger brother or sister have just confided in you about something really serious, and now you are stuck in a moral dilemma. Do you keep their secret and hope everything turns out okay? Or do you break that promise knowing that they will be angry with you? Of course, these kind of decisions are very tough, but they happen more often than we might think. Actually, this happened this week, and this is why I thought it necessary to bring it to the attention of parents watching this video. Often we put our loved ones, our siblings, in a very difficult situations to keep things away from parents or to keep our secrets so that our parents wouldn't find out what has happened. As much as we would love to keep that trust intact, sometimes the right thing to do is to break that trust to protect someone we care about. In this case, breaking that trust and telling a parent could prevent something dangerous from happening. It is about prioritizing safety over secrecy, even if it's uncomfortable. Now, let's talk about the role of the parents in this situation. Parents should be the ones setting boundaries and teaching their children what is right or wrong. But what happens when it is the parents encouraging risky behavior? It's important for us as a parents to teach our teenage children that they are still learning and figuring out things. Therefore, they can make mistakes. But even in that mistake, we have to teach, we have to support, then we have also to correct. Teenagers need guidance from adults who set the right examples, not the ones who blur the lines between what is safe and what's not. This isn't just about one situation. It reflects a bigger issue in the society. How the action of one person, especially an adult, can influence young people. Irresponsible parenting does not just affect one child, it has ripple effects that can affect or impact their friends, their families, and the wider community at large. That is why it's so crucial for parents to take their parenting role seriously, and for us, parents, to also speak up when something is not right. So, what can we take away from this? Trust is important, but safety comes first. If you ever find yourself in a situation like this, it is okay to speak up, even if it means breaking a promise. Your well being and that of your friends, that is what truly matters. And if you're unsure, talk to someone you trust. It could be a parent, it could be a sister, it could be a counselor, it could even be your teacher. Sometimes making those tough choices is the most responsible thing you can do. And for parents who think it's okay when another child comes to your house to give them alcohol, I don't know what you're thinking. I can understand this idea where parents are saying, I'd rather give something to my child for them to test it rather than going outside. Because sometimes when you keep things away from a child and they think, why am I not having this? So chances are they go outside, they see it, and they have it. So I understand some parents when they argue that I'd rather give my child alcohol to test, and they have a better understanding of it. And in doing so, a proper discussion, the implication of having an alcohol. So I can understand you doing that. But again, it is your child. And when another child is visiting your home, you have no right. You have no right to start giving that child an alcohol. And I think it is wrong. So please, parents, be open, be flexible that your children can come to you. Create that comfortable environment where your child can come to you with anything, where your child can feel comfortable coming to discuss anything with you. Yes, you might tell that child off, but first and foremost, realize that it takes a lot of trust for that child to bring whatever it is that is happening in their life to your attention. So I will caution to resist from telling them off at that particular point in time. Give it some days. Let them enjoy that freedom of bringing things to you. Because a lot of the abuses that children face, it's so sad that it is happening in their homes. It is so sad that it's happening in the homes of people that the parents trust to, to leave their children with. And because they have that close relationship with their parents, most children find it difficult to open up and speak to their parents about it. But if you have that safe environment where that child can bring, even if that child goes out and smokes weed, let him come home and tell you, Mommy, I've just smoked weed. What we forget as parents is that we are building the next generation. What kind of a husband would you want your young son to be to someone tomorrow? What kind of a wife would you want your daughter to be to someone tomorrow? When we are conscious of this, then we have to parent intentionally because we know we are bringing up the next generation who are going to be leaders. What are we impacting them with? I wouldn't be happy that my daughter visits her friend and the parents are encouraging them to take alcohol when in my own home they don't take alcohol. Research has also shown that children who perceive that their parents approve of alcohol consumption are more likely to drink. Another study published in the journal Pediatrics found that parental provision of alcohol, even under parents' supervision, can lead to a higher level of alcohol use and binge drinking among adolescents. The Partnership for Drug-Free Kids reports that teens who learn about the risk of drugs and alcohol from their parents are 50% less likely to use drug and alcohol. A study by the National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism found that open communication between parents and their children significantly reduces the likelihood of underage drinking. They also found that teens who feel comfortable discussing issues with their parents they are less likely to engage in risky behavior. I understand that trust between parents and teenagers are very crucial, but there are circumstances where safety must take precedence. Parents should encourage open and honest communication between themselves and their teenage children so that their teenagers will feel very supported and they will understand the reasoning behind the difficult decisions that the parents had to make. Children are growing up and they are meeting a lot of people in their school, people that might have different understanding and upbringing, people that may have different values. So you're trying to guide your child and to make them understand why these and that are not acceptable. But you've got to explain to them so that they can understand you, so that they can reason with you. Oftentimes, I found that when you tell your child, don't go with this person, I don't like this person, for them it's not a good reason. You don't like the person, but why? And when you refuse, to reason with them, to make them understand the reason why you're taking that decision, and to also show them support, they tend to revolt. It tends to bring out the worst in them. So it is our role, our responsibility as parents to have an open, honest communication channel where our children can freely come to us and we can talk about things and they will understand why we're taking a particular decision. And oftentimes we hear stories about mental health and substance abuse. This is where it starts. That child now suddenly becomes dependent on that substance. It could be alcohol, it could be weed, it could be whatever. But once that child becomes dependent on that, it becomes a problem. The substance abuse and mental health administration services know that early alcohol use is associated with a range of negative outcomes: academic failure, criminal behavior, substance dependency in adulthood. This not only affects the individual, but it has broader implications for the society, such as increased healthcare costs and high crime rates. I know it's hard work being a parent, but it's a job I love to do because I watch my children grow and I know that I am their first role model. And as a mom, I try to live my life knowing that I am the mirror that they see and that whatever I do, they copy. So I understand it's a tough job. But if you had made that decision to be a parent, please be a responsible parent for these beautiful children that we are bringing into the world. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe to my channel. God's blessings as always.